Hey, this is a quick tutorial on merging the EasyTame component with EasyRPG. Sorry if the audio kind of sucks. I'm out of town, so I'm just making this on the fly, so the audio is not that good. I'm just doing a voiceover. I hope this helps. This is just gonna be a simple run through of merging it. Obviously, you can get really creative with this and add a lot to it, but this is just the basics of getting it put in. Open your character, add the can tame component, then add the can tame blueprint interface. Then we're going to go to the Tamer's Info event from the interface, drag the component in, and get the variable and hook it up. Make sure you check the return boolean. Then we're going to make a child of this ability-based blueprint, and we'll come back to it later. Next, we're going to go into the items data table, and we're going to create an item for it, for the food. And this is what's going to run the event that we're about to make for the item to feed the tames. And to keep things quick and easy, I'm just going to duplicate the banana since it already has a lot of the functionality that we need. And we'll just swap out the things that have to be changed for it to work as a food that we'd want to be different. First thing we're going to do is call the use event. And then we have to make a custom event to make sure it runs on the server when it does the trace. The trace is what's going to tell the tame actor that we're trying to feed it. So just follow along with what I do here. And then these variables here you could promote and set them for different items. So you could, like I was saying earlier, you could have cooked meat or vegetables, and you could have different values. Also, in the tame component in the actual tame actor, you can set multipliers for each type of food. So say the value on this is 15, but the actor has a multiplier on cooked meat that's times 2. It'll take 30 tame value instead of just 15. Or you could also have that as a negative multiplier, so it'll take 50% of the value. And then after that attempt to tame, we want to do an attempt to claim in case it's already been tamed. That way when we feed it, it'll just instantly claim it if it's already 100% taming. Now we have to go into the tags and set the stance. Make sure you're in the right data table, or else it might get a little screwed up. We're going to add a new stance for feeding. Now we have to go into the library and apply that stance. And we're going to have to add the stance to the enumeration for stances. So now we're going to go back to the item, get rid of that old stance, and add the new one that we just created for feeding. Now we're going to link an animation to that stance and the item we just created. I'm just going to use this animation here. I'm going to promote it to a variable to make it its own animation, so you could change it later on. But for now, we'll just use that one to move things on with the tutorial. And I'm going to duplicate this just so we don't screw with anything existing, and that way we can have separate tamed actors. Well, tameable actors. So we're going to give it the taming component, and after that we're going to give it the taming interface. And then we're going to head over to the master tame character, and we're going to copy and paste the interface events just so we don't need to recreate them in the new one. And we're going to create the variables in there, and we're going to delete all the ones that have to do with the progress bar, because we're not going to use that one. We're going to use the ESRPG progress bar instead. So open the world character state, and then we're going to duplicate this health box, the whole thing. Just kidding. Sorry, this is a voiceover. We're going to go back into the character and hook up the variables to the get tame info interface event. We'll go back to the UI later after this. These are your conditional stats. So if you use conditional taming for the conditional stats, these are the stats it's going to use. So if you create a torpidity stat, like if you want them to be knocked out to tame, you could hook those up there. I just did health to keep it simple, but this is where I was saying earlier, duplicate this. Then we're going to rename these and fix it all up so it's nice and neat and easy to tell what we're doing. Let's duplicate that health update health function. We're going to make it an update tame progress function. So we'll get, for some reason you can't drag off the character to get this event, so make sure you right click the graph, get tame info, plug that in, and then in the tame, in the that struct, it's already in a percentage of the progress, so you can get rid of that division node. I'm going to do it a little bit differently than how it's set up here, just because the variable we're getting is already in a percentage. And make sure you swap out this health box and health label with the tame box and tame label, or else it's not gonna work, obviously. Then come plug it into Tick to make sure it updates. And then here I'm gonna make it so this progress bar only shows if it's above 0% taming, or no, you could do that too, but here I'm making it so it's only gonna show if it has the taming blueprint interface, since we're modifying the actual state widget that all the characters use. We don't want that showing on every player. I didn't duplicate it because I tried duplicating it when I was like testing, and there was a bunch of issues because the parent of the base character, so it was just easier this way. It's not really a big deal since if it doesn't have the blueprint interface, it won't even do anything. And make sure you actually plug the event in on your item use event. And then here I'm just taking a sword away so it doesn't keep killing me. And there we go, it's working. So obviously you can get really creative with this. This is just the basics of how to get it merged. Um, there's a lot you can do with these events, and all those interface events in the that undead guy's event graph are where you'd want to put like your ally and all that kind of thing. I was messing around with it. I'm not sure how to get the factions working in ESRPG, but that's where you would put it.